Good morning. Maine day. Ow. Right. Hey, Joe. Good morning. Okay. Oh, man. A little tired this morning. Sorry. Blessings on this most fortuitous morning. Oh, great sage. Well, indeed. Good morning, Peter, to you as well. Or, yeah, I guess it's still morning your way. A new type of coffee my wife bought. It's pretty tasty. It's different. It's tasty. My son Lucas came out last night as trans last night. It was very therapeutic, I think, for him. Oh my God, that's great, Joe. Joe, I'm very happy to hear that. Look, I'm sure there are going to be people who are going to be all like, getting all wigged out. You know what? I'm gonna give a much tinier example of that. Then we'll kind of move on from that. This past Thursday, I was at a job site with my project manager, and we were looking at the site, and he and I were we're bickering a lot more because he's like, this is the first time he was on site because the owner didn't want him there earlier. Anyway, so we're looking at this, how we're going to wire everything up, and I felt my anger starting to increase, and we're getting more antagonistic towards each other. We bring over the project electrician. We start talking to him about what his needs are, and I'm getting more frustrated. And then my project manager says, at one point, we're not ready to start this tomorrow because we're planning on starting the pre-wire the next day. And the electrician concurred, and I suddenly felt a weight come off me. It's like, yeah, let's just not start because it's just this job site's not ready. I can only imagine how many magnitudes better that is when you get to a point in your life where you decide that, who I have been emitting is not the person that I am, and this is who I am. And just the amount of weight that comes off their shoulders, Joe. So they, them. Right. So you know what? Congratulations. Congratulations. That's. I mean, look, one can argue. I just don't care about. Is it right? Is it not right? Do not care. Born male. Sure. Like I said, for me, this is one of the, again, we can certainly go down this. This is not a political conversation. This is a moral conversation. For me personally, this is an individual choice of what is right for you as a person. And will that, I'm sure, have like everything in our life? Will it make some people understanding and other people don't get it? Fine. But if it's something that comes off them, they're like, this is where I am. Great. So anyway, proud for them, proud for you. It was hard. He was getting teased at school, but that's the way of high school. Yeah. The question is, are people coming around to it? Because ultimately, this isn't about them, meaning your son. This is about the school, the friends. They're going to have to figure this out. You know, are they any different? No. So anyway, Joe, I'm happy for your son. I'm happy for them. I will be working on this. If you guys remember, I picked this up with a couple of those Dragonair models, and I just started snapping this last night at our Patriot meeting. I mean, it's small, but there's like a lot of detail in there. It's pretty cool. I can see that there could be a lot of work one can do to customize the piss out of this thing, and I really dig it. Like, I can definitely see doing some customization to this thing. That's cool. Oh, next steps. Thank you. Oh, next steps. Yeah. Anyway, let's get live chat, not top chat, which is weird. Why I don't know why it defaults to that, but capillary action would be amazing. Oh yeah, I think so too. There's a lot of places where you can do that, and just doing some cleanup work to give it a little bit more detail. I respect the individual for the content of their character, not exclusively their biological or identified gender. I don't necessarily understand pronouns, but understand they can be important. Yeah, Peter must be the grumpy old man part of me. Peter, no, I think, one of the things, so this is an interesting conversation. So my older daughter, um, her degree is in women and gender studies, one of her two degrees, which hopefully someday she will do something with, because I know how passionate she is in this. When on the number of times that throughout her college career, the 3 years that she was on campus, her first year she was living at home because of COVID. The number of times I would go down to pick her up for the weekend, she's only about an hour and a half away, pick her up, bring her home, spend the time for the weekend, bring her back. The number of times that she would tell me about the stuff that she would learn about gender. Yeah, I think you're right about us being grumpy old men, because this is outside of our purview, outside of our understanding, because this is so new to us and so new to everything that we've been brought up. That doesn't make it wrong. It just makes it something that we have to start to understand. And in my conversations with my daughter, the amount of stuff that I learned from her over this I've said this to her so many times. I've thanked her for teaching me all this stuff. Like I said, I have a hard time too. And I say some stuff all awesome every now and then. And she says, yeah, it's not right, Dad. Let me tell you why. And she clarifies. Do I agree with it 100%? No, I struggle with it, but I accept it. And I think that's the important thing. Hey, Richie, good morning. And this has been around for centuries. Yeah, we're not talking about this is like something brand new. It's just brand new that things are coming out. So anyway, yeah, once again, Joe, congrats. That's great. And Peter, yeah, I totally understand. You and I are like exactly on the same wavelength on this. Anyway, so I'm going to be snapping this together. I got here really late last night. Our meeting wrapped up around 10 o'clock, our Patriot meeting. I drove up to Maine. It took me just under 3 hours. So I got here just before 1 o'clock. So I'm flying on fumes right now, which is why I'm glad I'm just snapping something together. One of the last times, I think, the next time I'm up here, I'm not sure the next time I'm up here, I'm actually going to be able to live stream. Don't know. Excuse me. The next time I'm up here will be Saturday. It'll be a month from today. I'll be back up here on that Saturday, and we will be basically packing up my wife, moving her back. Which way did he go, George? Nice. What's going on, Ray? It's hard screwed on or snapped on. I got those. I got those. Damn George, burn the candle. Don't. Oh, yeah. The unfortunate thing is, I wish I was saying that this is an uncommon thing, but it's not. I do tend to do that, and it's going to start costing me at some point. So I need to stop it. I got those two parts. Those two parts. Okay, good. I guess we can now put on these whatever these side panels are. Anyway. It is nice and toasty up here. In fact, it is toasty enough. I can take this off. The living room downstairs is very cold. This second floor is like so toasty. Oh, I love it. I love it. This is a philosophical question only to me, but the common attitude is not wanting to be labeled or categorized in boxes. Aren't pronouns exactly that? It's just of our own invention. It depends on who you ask. Only because of one of the books that I'm reading right now. I'm reading a book called uh, The Disciples of White Jesus. And the author is making a very interesting point about how pronouns came about. I'm not going to have a long conversation about it today. We can do that at another time. But the concept has potential. Yes, it is of our own creation, but it is also reinforced, at least here in the West, biblically. And interestingly enough, as I was talking to my wife about this last night, incorrectly so. This is what I don't get about pronouns, but if requested to address someone in a certain way, of course, although, yeah, I feel exactly the same way. Tony, what's going on, brother? Good morning. One of the things I've always said to my kids about this is, this, like I said, this isn't a political conversation. I want people to understand all these arguments we have about, transgender and all these things. They're such. If we treat each other as humans, they're immaterial conversations, and we got more important things to take care of. I believe those things become distractions for people who just don't understand, and I get that. So, better thing to do, move on, and let's solve the other problems in the world. Like, let's focus on things like hunger, and I'm not belittling it. I'm just saying focus on things like hunger, on homes, on getting water to people, stuff like that. That is our humanity. Nothing much, just trying to stay warm. Uh-oh. How bad is it out your way, Tony? I will love my neighbor no matter what gender they identify as they wish to be addressed, as long as they afford me the same respect they would like. Yeah, I would like that. Yeah, I would afford it even if they don't care about it, because it's like I'm not going to change my view on it. I will afford you the respect. They put a nub on this thing in one of the worst possible places. Maybe it'll be hidden.
Let's see. So just to weigh in and not to get political, but who cares what gender anyone is or what they look like? Or we're all human. Why can't we all just treat each other with kindness and respect? Yes. I mean, that's exactly the point. Yeah, Tony, but you put it much, much better. Let's move on to more important things because this is immaterial. Yeah, who cares about any of this stuff? Tony, amen, brother. The one thing in this world I can't stand people who don't tolerate other people for their cultural differences. And the Dutch. I was going to say the Danes, but I guess the Dutch too. It is 9 degrees here, and we have a wind chill. Ugh. I'm going to tell you guys, both you and Joe, Tony. One of the things I really appreciate about both of you guys is when you guys say, "Oh shit, we're getting like pounded with snow." The next day we get pounded with snow. When you guys say it is a deep freeze right now, it's like, "Oh, it's a deep freeze here." I don't understand why, because normally, like other areas nearby, if their weather is crap, our weather might not be as crap. But for some crazy reason, the stuff that comes from your neck of the woods seems to like accurately reflect what we're going to get the next day. Don't understand. Hey, good morning, Kevin. How are you? Hope things are well down your way. Since we're talking about temperatures, what's the temperature down your way in Lakeland? The snow is light, thank goodness. Yeah, that's the nice thing. Only the Sith deals and absolutely love the irony of that line from SW. Yeah. Yep. And which SW film is that from? Because it's not from the first. I don't like Kevin. How much you get up there last night? Uh, Looking at my car, I would say we probably got about an inch, but I can't tell because it's too dark right now. It is too dark still. Ray, you're not up here, are you? You can snowball the driveway if you want. Oh yeah. So when I'm driving up through the back roads up here to Bethel, it was uh, it was interesting. Like a vehicle would drive by the other way. So I'm going, west. They're driving east, and there's like this light dust on the road, right? This dusting on the road, which is so pretty because as it almost has like a life of its own. The way it's kind of swirling on the road, and then they drive by and it all gets lifted up, and it's actually a really pretty scene. It's like this, you're suddenly encased or engulfed in this like this miasma of snow. It's really pretty. Of course, it also prevents you from seeing too far down the road, but it's very pretty. Hey Nick, good morning. All right, sorry I missed you. I missed you, man. Taking care of the puppy at the moment, and have the stream up. We are not, hence why you should do my driveway. Nice. Hence why you should do my driveway. If I were heading in that direction, Ray, I would do so. Today is our planned. My wife and I are going to go out. We're going to have dinner tonight. It's going to be one of our last dinners together up here. We're going to go out to dinner, just the two of us. The next time I'm up here will be my older daughter will be with us because she's going to be helping us move my wife back. But we'll be going out. We're going to do a little bit of shopping for her, and then basically the rest of the weekend is going to be just getting things boxed up and prepped. I might bring some stuff back in my little Prius. Let's see. The code's from Austin Powers, right? Wish I had a snowblower, but mine blew up, and I'm assuming it's Gerwin. And lives 99% of the time at his GFs now. Oh, okay. Hey, Edwin. Good evening. How are you, my friend? We're driving. Pro tip: wear a stormtrooper helmet. You don't hit anything. That's actually not a bad idea. I like that. I've never known it's cold out. If I didn't have 3 cats and 2 dogs in my lap, at least my coffee is in reach.
Nice. How bad is it down your way, Nick?
And when Tony, this quote is from Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Oh, was it? Yeah. The first film, the original film, that one I've got memorized. The second film and third film, I got mostly memorized. Everything after that, I honestly don't remember much. Peter, due to international copyright laws, it is not in fact Godzilla. Nice. It's 19 degrees here, but feels like 1.
Yeah.
And my understanding is tomorrow it's going to be 1 and it's going to feel like minus 19. Now it's getting mildly brighter out there, but I think we've got heavy cloud cover. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get rid of this up here. There we go. Just give me 1 second. All right, where were we now? Where were we? It's 50 here. These animals are pathetic. Nice. Not original trilogy, but it's the George Lucas canon, not Disney garbage. None of it. Only the first 3 films really kind of count. The second 3 don't, and the last 3, and even then, only the first one is the important one. It is 52 degrees here now. It will be in the 70s for the high temperature today, though next week, morning temperature will be in the 30s and 40s morning. Ooh. Hey, Kevin, does that mean you guys are going to get frost? Because what does that mean in terms of like the orange crop? Oof. Has been pretty brutal on us. Oh, yeah, this winter has been atrocious. I'm sure the oil companies are fucking loving it, though. Oh, look, or the gas companies or whatever. Yeah, our heating bill, I'm sure this year, I can't wait to get our final oil bill for this year. It's probably going to blow. I'll take your 50, Nick, and trade you my 9, even throw in the wind chill factor for free. That's a good one, Tony. It's all a fever dream of Indiana Jones. Nice. The grumpy is strong with this one. The grumpy is strong, indeed. All right, let's get far around here. Okay. Okay, I got that. Oh, I see where they go. Yeah, rather. Oh, I see what that was now. Rather. That's an interesting concept. Okay. All right. So if anybody's wondering what I'm working on this little simple thing. I may get it done this sitting. I may not. Don't know yet. Anyone else following the Guthrie kidnapping? I'm getting strong Lindbergh vibes from it. I'm not. I don't tend to follow a lot of that that kind of stuff, unfortunately. But Lindbergh feel, huh? When we get frost, we had frost this past week. Oh boy, oof, that sucks. It has definitely been a crazy winter, no doubt. A crazy winter. I didn't even know there was a Guthrie kidnapping. I've seen things come up in my feed on that, but typically don't tend to follow a lot of the what I call the sensationalized, because again, and this is not to belittle the case. I don't know what's going on. I don't tend to follow a lot of that sensationalized stuff. It's kind of like if anybody remembers the Jean-Benet Ramsey thing from God 30 years ago. God, how long ago was that? You know, it became so ugly, and you know, and I think the media sensationalized so much of it. It was just yeah. That I even remember her name is really scary because I was so in the news. It still is. I mean, 30 years on, it's still in the news. We get frost. We had the frost is it is just so weird all the way around. And yeah, even Ramsey weighed in on the case. No kidding. God almighty. Yeah, kidnapped. 84-year-old. Who kidnaps an 84-year-old woman? Yeah, who does? What's the purpose? You know, I I can't say, it's funny. My daughter and I have these conversations a lot about, some of the stuff that's going on in the world. And I keep telling her, one can be shocked at that it happens, that something specifically has happened to somebody, but not that something like that happens. If that makes any sense, you know. I genuinely believe that there are people out there. I'd like to think everybody is fixable, but I genuinely believe that there are people who are morally bankrupt, or not you know they're amoral. They have no ability to have morality, and therefore do not have that sense of what is needed to do right. They're beyond it. They don't understand it, and therefore, if that's the case, then they can do really, really evil shit, because there's some stuff that goes on in the world. And it's like, I don't understand how people could do that to another person. Conspiracy theorist says that she might be one of the victims of Epstein. A picture is matching. Really? Yeah, her one daughter is a big TV reporter, and she also has money. Same with the rest of the fam. Jean Benet. You're talking about Jean Benet is a victim of Epstein? Oh my God, that'd be the most fucked up thing of all time. Really? Again, just so you guys know, I don't believe in any conspiracy theory. You heard me say this on Thursday night. I'm one of those people. It's like anything I hear from anybody, and I tune out the left as much as the right. If I hear anything that just sounds like that doesn't make a lot of sense, I will do my own research, and I will stop listening to something and say, "Yeah, no, sorry, that doesn't sound real." I'm not saying it's not. I just some of that, I've heard some stuff about the Epstein files that I cannot verify, and therefore I will not discuss it, because I'm not looking to spread rumors. Because if it's true, it's pretty horrific stuff, but
I heard it from somebody. I don't know where they got their information. Therefore, it ain't fact. I wouldn't doubt it at this point. It seems I've seen it's tied to everyone and everything. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I don't think it's funny, Tony. I think you're absolutely right. It's like, man, it's pretty fucking sick. It is sick shit. Yeah, tied to everyone and everything. Yes. Okay, real quickly. So we got a lot of this hull kind of put together. So the bits that got glued on, the frame itself, there are these two pieces that came together. Then this top deck came on. This front section came on. You can actually see it, it'll probably have to get finished. You can see the gap where the two parts come together. That'll just have to get finished at some point. And then there's a bunch of doodad pieces that came on this piece. Oops. And what's really cool is all the instructions are in the box top. So that's why if you see me pick up the box and look inside, it's not because it's like, oh, what's he doing inside that? No, because that's where the instructions are. In one mark, we have a saying, literally. In one mark, we have a saying, literally singing at a fire, referencing singing at bonfires at midsummer festivals, but used for people who watch the casualties at accidents. Oh, really? That's an interesting euphemism. Wasn't she found in the family's basement? Yeah. This is why, again, conspiracy theories are exactly that. All right, let's take a quick look outside since Ray asked the question, how much did we get? Yeah, it looks like it's primarily, like by the time I got here, yeah, maybe like a heavy dusting. I do know this, it was slick as hell driving up in here. Now, you guys don't know this, but I mean, you guys do know because I don't wear glasses while I'm working, right? This is what I usually look like with glasses. I'm wearing glasses all the time. So when I see myself with glasses on the live stream, it's like, oh, that looks weird. But I wear glasses all the time. It's considered a ghoulish thing to do. Sensationalizing in the news is seen as just as bad. Yep, agreed. Picture suggests a visit to the island. A girl who was shown up with her custom-made jumper she wore. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay. B2. It's a hit. Only 1, 2, 3 runners plus the stand. I'm assuming these are, oh God, no way. Huh. So considering this is like a cheap little kit, they actually come with water slides. They're not stickers. That's pretty awesome. Huh. I did not see that before. So you guys are smarter than us. Exactly. B-Bandai? No, this is a standard release. In fact, so I picked up the what was it? I picked up those 2 Dragonar set 2s because I wanted 2 Gelfs for the to complete the 3 Gelf collection. Because the Gelfs in Dragonar they're a team. They're a team of 3. And I padded the order. I'm like, all right, I'm already paying $750 for shipping. So whether I buy 1, 2, 3, 5 models, whatever. So I didn't see a whole lot. I did get the 2 boxes of the Dragonar set, and I'm like, okay, for $5, this cost me $5. It's like, yeah, for $5, it's pretty cool. I like this ship design. I've always loved the Yamato stuff. I figured, okay, I'll build one of these things, and it's a pretty interesting build. You know, it's the way it comes together is pretty interesting, but it is pretty cool, and the detail on it is like off the chain. I mean, this would be something that maybe you guys would probably snap together in about like 10 minutes, and me, it's going to take me the next day or so. We'll see. I started it last night at our Patriot meeting, but I didn't get too far into it because when you're running the meeting, don't have nearly as much time to do the fun stuff. But we did sign up 2 new members, so I'm pretty happy about that. 2 people joined us last night. One guy has been bringing his kids for a while, and it was interesting. He was saying, it was actually pretty cool. He says, you know, he's like, yeah, I'm going to pay dues for my kids. Okay, $10 each because they're juniors. And he flips our treasurer another 15 or whatever. And I'm like, you and your wife, you guys don't have to pay. You're bringing your kids here. He goes, no, I think I want to join. He's like, I haven't built a model in a while, but I keep seeing this. It's like, this is pretty cool. So dad is going to join his kids in yeah, he's going to join his kids. And his kids are like young. One's like, I think, like 9, and the other one is 10 or 11. One builds Gundams, and the other one builds armor. In fact, next month I think I'm going to give him. I've got a couple of tanks that I will never build in 1/35th scale, so I'm just going to be like, here you go. If you want this, it's all yours. Gonna get the PG nuke? No. Now, I'm really happy. I like building smaller scales. I've really enjoyed working on 172 armor planes, 148 planes. I will do 148 tanks. I've been working for like the last 4 years on a French tank, the AMX 30B2. But I've been working. It's a Maine 1/35th scale. It's an on and off project. I build it for a few weeks and I stop for like 9 months and then I'll get back to it. But generally speaking, I prefer the smaller sizes. The only large like PG that I would ever get, the only PG would be the Mark II. It's the only one because the Mark II is my favorite Gundam of all time, and not by an insignificant amount. Let's see. I don't know if that's true, Robert, but we are a small country, 0.6.5 million, so we don't have enough happening to have 24-hour ratings, hungry news channels. You don't need to. You got everybody else's. And we also had another member he came in, and he another new guy. He was at our show, PatCon, and he primarily builds planes and armor. And he actually brought a finished Macross kit. He brought a finished one of the Valkyrie fighters. He goes, yeah, I just saw this when I was at the Hobby Bunker, which is a shop not too far from. It's one of the shops nearby. And he goes, I was up there and I saw it. It's like, that's a pretty cool looking plane. So I figured I'd buy that. It's a Robotech thing. I grew up watching Robotech. So he built that, but that's not his go-to. But he did a really nice job with it. Anyway. We continue to build the momentum of our club, which makes me very, very happy. I'm glad to see that people like what they see and they enjoy the camaraderie and the good conversation and all that other good stuff. I think we're going to trim back just a little bit on those pins so I can pull this thing apart if necessary at a later date. Facebook sources say that Dubon is already working hard on a 160 new Gundam clone. It will be like half the price. So when they do a clone, with Dubon and all these other companies do these clones, Tony, do they literally take the original and copy it, or do they engineer their own? If it's the latter, great. If it's the former, it's kind of like, it's kind of theft. If it's something that goes out of print, that's a different conversation. But if it's something that's just coming out, I guess it kind of like just buy the original, support the company, and be done with it. But again, if they're building something completely brand new, their own molds and everything like that, totally cool. Let me try really one is the Exia. I just finished an Exia. Nice. With all George's patriarchs. With all George's patriarch and reads channel. Even I am considering becoming a member in absentia. Join. You can join our Zoom meetings on Friday. We've got people who are doing that. We got a guy from Canada. We got Mike from who's up in upstate New York. Not in that part of the U.S., but I thought about joining too. Never been 90% of the time. Yeah. And I'm okay with that because $600 is way too much for a kid. And I'm not disagreeing with you. Look, I won't go into the details. I hear you because I sort of feel about that about other things myself. And certainly Bandai isn't going to lose money. I wonder though if they do that, are they going to do the same thing they did once before, or just try to shut them down? Remember, what was it when Dobbin and who was the other company that they just basically just went after aggressively? Oops, hello. Yeah, 700 in most places. $700. What the fuck is this? Like a Lego kit? The XERG, I was pleasantly surprised by the build. Yeah, the build's really good. And the Exia, if I'm correct, is an older one with the frame, correct, Joe? It was better. $400 for a robot. It better do chores around the house. Yeah, I feel the same way about that. Get enough money to Bandai for their kits. Yep. Well, they killed Dragon, Momoko, and DM, but better detail on the kits. And DM had better detail on the kits than Dobbin. You're right. Turn it down just a little bit. That way you guys can see a little bit more of what I'm doing here. One. Six. Projects is older, yeah. Limbs get floppy, but looks amazing. Yeah, sorry to ask, but what Gundam cost 600? Yeah, I guess it's the new the new Gundam new, the Unleashed version of it, which I'm assuming has photo etch inside and all that other stuff. But yes, I would agree that is a hefty amount of money. I'd love to know what the yen cost on it is. Last night I'm down to 13 boxes from the Kirk collection in my garage. Most of the stuff was given out last night. The only thing that came back is one box of photo etch, and the only thing I said I'm not going to throw away or just we're not going to toss out. We're not going to give to a shop or whatever. Was the photo etch and aftermarket parts. But at the same time, we had another gentleman reach out to us and ask, hey, would you guys be interested in buying a bunch of these Tamiya Formula One cars that I've had for many years? So we got something like, I don't know, how many kits was it? 15, 16 kits of these, these Elf, McLaren, all these other kind of racers. And we bought the guy just like, yeah, just give me $200 for them all. It's like $200 was a screaming deal. So we ended up basically turning around and selling them last night to our membership. We're
thinking only a few of them were going to sell, and the rest of them were going to put on our raffle table. All of them sold. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because those kits are now going for anywhere between 50 and 60 bucks, according to one of our members. But if you take a look at the yen price on it, at one point they were 1,800 yen, which normally translate dollar for dollar to something like, 20 bucks, let's say, right? So how much things have changed. Let's see. The cards out to Japan with record snowfalls, over 20 feet of snowfall. Army was called out. Yeah. Speaking of, yeah, Tony, sorry, Tony. Peter, how's your wife doing? 450 in Japan, George. Yeah, wow. That is why I'm okay with the Dublin. Peter, the 160 PG new gun. Yeah. 600-700 bucks. Yeah. Well, I'm wondering how much of that is also tariff hell that we're in right now. Yeah. I'm not saying that from a political perspective. I'm just wondering how much of our hobby is being impacted. Both, if you want to buy stuff from overseas. So I'm not seeing it from AliExpress, but I'm wondering if I bought something from Japan, how badly am I going to get hit? And then if, P Bandai here in the US is importing, how much are they getting crushed by it? And they can't eat that cost, guys. They're going to have to pass it on. You can eat it for so long before it's like, nope, no longer. Look, I understand tariff and markup for sales because you got to make money, but that is one hell of a markup. I don't know that. I know that Bandai did announce prior to the tariffs that they're going to be cost increases. Because their material costs were going up. But I think the price increases were somewhere between around 15% or so, Tony. I believe a lot of what we're seeing now is a lot of it is tariffing based. And tariffs, not looking to argue, somebody has to pay the tariffs. It's usually, if it's coming in and it costs more for you as a wholesaler, you either eat that cost difference, or you pass it on. It's one of the two, but it's not paid by the foreign country. And that's the problem right now. I think what happens is, I'm sure Bandai absorbed a bit of it, but at some point they said, yeah, not so much. We have to pass this on. And again, not looking to make this a political conversation. This is just a sort of a realism of how things go together. Well, that's kind of cool. Yeah. This upper deck part here is 2 parts. It's really nicely done. Well, I mean, the engineering on such a small model like this is really, really good. It's really good. P-Man only raised prices about 10-ish bucks. 10-ish bucks a kit is bad. If you got a $20 kit and now it's 30, that's bad. If you got a $60 kit and it's 70, it's a little bit different. A $100 kit, 110, it's one thing. But I think even like, how much is the O going for now? 140, 150 bucks. And by the way, what the fuck is going on with USA Gundam Store? Can somebody answer me that? Before I forget, Star Trek Academy, OMG, the last episode, to James Avery Sisko, a big ooh. I may have to wait for that to come out on disc, and I'll probably rent it and watch it. That's fair again. Got to be real about it, George. I'm looking at the real price hiked resellers on Amazon, and they are 500 bucks max, but these are like scalpers. Yeah. 100. Hold it, Ray. Is that at a retail price level or is that at a scalper level? because when that kit first came out, I mean, that kit was under $100 when it first came out, like just under. Not saying it's like substantially less when I first saw it. And then I heard 140. Who's selling it for 170? Everyone's searching for a big O, but most left unsatisfied. Yeah, Seiji has a tendency to be shady in myriad ways. You're going to have to specify. Yeah, yeah, USAG is ridiculously priced nowadays, and their shipping is shitty. So I mean, unless it's your only option, I would not recommend them. Yeah. So I've now heard from two people. I haven't bought from them in years because I just don't buy a lot of Gundam stuff online except for the P Bandai stuff. So I've now heard from two people, like the O, Mike Wine, Gundamonium Works. He placed an order for the O a year ago, like when it was up, like pre-order was announced. And he's seen people receive it. And his complaint is that, where's mine? They're like, oh, we're waiting for the next batch. Is there a next batch? Because at a year, you may want to start questioning whether or not that's good. You're going to get it. A friend of mine from at Patriot last night, Tom, he ran into the same thing. He placed an order last March for like 7 or 8 kits, and one of them was a pre-order. And the entire order is being held up for this pre-order kit, which should have been available like last fall or something like that. And they've been dicking with them. Oh, we're just waiting for it to come in, waiting for it to come in. So they're holding up like an 8 kit order on that. That's me walking into a store. Yep. Fuck Corporal, let me burn it. Fuck Corporal, nice. Has been my option. Is last resort of the option of last resort. I typically will go everywhere before them. Yep, actually option of second last resort. Amazon is last resort. Yep, I've used them a bit last year, but mostly because my daughter got me a gift card from there. Makes sense. Cheapest I've seen is 150, but average has been 170, and that's at retail, not after. That's not through eBay or anything like that. That would be like USA Gundam. Gundam Planet. By the way, guys, go support businesses like that. Go support Gundam Pros, New Type, Gundam Planet. I like Gundam Planet, and having had the benefit of having both Danny Gumpla walk me through that place. Next batch is in 2031, yeah, probably. But having me walk through and talking to one of the owners there, And everybody I know who's bought from there has always said they're on the up and up. So support those companies that are on the up and up. I've never noticed how white you are. I am when you got snow outside. I know MSA, it's kind of interesting that you bring that up. I don't know. Have I ever said I'm not a white guy? A white old guy with white beard? Nah, I'm a white guy. Never pre-order from USAGS. They are notorious for overselling pre-orders. Yeah, and then not being honest about that. Yeah, it went there as a Dublin copy of the MGO. It was only $60-ish shipped. The MGO, my logo has it in the window. How much are they asking for it, Joe? I'd actually be curious. I'm more curious than anything. I'm not interested in it because, again, I'm not buying a $100 robot, in master grade. It's just not my thing anyway. I'll buy very few of those. I do have a couple of them in my backlog, but not a lot. That to me once they charged me a % to cancel the pre-order. Oh, really? Yeah, fuck them. I'm sure has had a lot of backlash for the pre-orders. This isn't a new problem. Yeah. Support A to Z also. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? In fact, I should probably look into that myself. I'm not sure I want to order AK paints from a Texas company when I got one up in New Hampshire. It's a little bit more convenient, but you know what? But thank you for bringing that up. If there are good places that we should be shopping, put it out. Gundam Place is great for third-party stuff. Gundam Place, I don't even know much about it. Are they the ones down in Georgia? I've never noticed how white you are, Harry D9 new type is a bit higher price, but I would rather give him my money. Yeah, I'm less concerned about the cost than I am about, at least again, to a degree. A little bit, like a couple dollars more for a kit isn't going to make or break it, especially if you're going to get the service and it's fair. Hey Seb, good morning. How are you, my friend? Welcome. I think a little bit. Like warehouses, Nick would never put pre-orders up for sale until he knew he had how many he's going to get. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna miss Nick. Nick was great, and the reason I didn't bring him up in my list is only because he's shutting down his operations. Otherwise, I'd be recommending him left, right, and center. It's always slower to sell and receive them, but you knew you'd get the kit. Exactly. Oh, Ken's here too. Hey, Ken, good morning. How are you? It's got my paints from A to Z. Nice. I will check them out. Like I said, only because we got a couple of retailers nearby. I want to start buying more AK paints. I'm also just losing shops around me, so I'm trying to find a place that actually has AK. And for me, it's primarily going to be my go-to paints. For lacquers, it's AK and Mr. Color, and for water-based acrylics, it's AK first and Vallejo. And I'll interchange those, but I prefer to go to the AK stuff. Call them and text you. They don't do online at all. Yeah, I get more. Yeah, exactly, Joe. I'm just curious to see how much they're selling it for, and who knows? Maybe it would be something that if somebody's in the area and wanted to pick that up or something like that, at least you got one you can buy. I like Gun and Blaze also since they carry resin aftermarket stuff. Nice. Gun and Blaze is in Georgia. They focus on a lot of Chinese third-party kits and iron parts. It's their niche and it's working for them. Time is it okay? Doing good, better than what on the news. It's finally rest days, and you know how you are. And how are you? I'm doing fine. Yeah, the news is interesting. I got to tell you, there was something that came out last night that just, look, nothing surprises me under what's going on currently in the world. Nothing really. That image that was posted last night really surprised me. But again, not looking to go down this path, but it was just, it's shocking. Check out his sales lately. If there is something you want from Mecca Warehouse, then get it and help Nick out. Oh yeah, absolutely. So I might actually reach out to Nick and just say, hey Nick, one of the things I don't like to do, I don't like shopping from stores when they're closing, because I always feel like I'm going in as a vulture. And I know that sounds bad. It's like, it's almost like your demise, your loss of your business is a benefit to me. And I just don't like that. I won't go out of my way to shop at a place that's closing. It's part of the reason why I feel like guilty about when I go on Mecca Warehouse's site and start looking for like deals. Nick's cut us deals for Patriot. He has been a supporter of our Kids Make and Take, and in my opinion, Nick will always be able to come to our show. And I'm gonna let him in at no charge. I'll just tell the front desk, it's like, Mecca Warehouse, Nick, let him in for free. I don't care if he wants to compete. That's a different thing. But if he wants to walk the floor, come on in for free. Let's see. As best I can see, the MSRP is 60,000 yen, approximately $425. Okay. Wow. The MSRP is 60,000 yen on the PG new. Wow. I got my pre-order of the 100 Kshatriya from Gundam Place. Got it 2 weeks before USA. Shocking. Oh, whatever. Hey, Seb. But still better than Nick getting stuck with inventory. There is that. He's not going to get stuck with inventory. Somebody's going to buy the stuff out, and at some point you get to models that once you start clearing, like this as an example, if you were blowing up, like he had 10 of the O in master grade, you think those things are going to last? No. But if he has 10 of God, like one, like this really shitty HG, yeah, it probably isn't going to move even if you discount it. It may not. So I don't think it's about not supporting him and helping him clear out his inventory. Like I said, I will likely reach out to him and just say, hey, Nick, if you want us to buy any of the PatCon kits, a lot of the entry grade Pokemon stuff, if you got that, I'll gladly take that stuff, as much of that stuff as we can off your hands. I just like I said, I feel guilty about vulturing around a business that's going out. Yeah. He's gonna say he'd sell to another yeah, he'll sell it to another shop. Exactly. He'll move products, yeah. 60,000. Yeah, wow. What did Tom say about shipping costs from Japan? Anyone else have insight on shipping tariffs? I don't. Mecca Warehouse, don't know that store. I'll check it out. Mecca Warehouse is a store up here in the New England area, up in New Hampshire, and he was doing an online business and very nice guy. Um, Nick is a gentleman and very business oriented. I think that's one of the things I've always appreciated about Nick. Um, Very savvy guy. And I think he made the right decision. I think he's getting out of this before, it's like why am I doing this? If I'm not making money doing this, why am I doing this? I think it was a good call. All right, let's see what else we're gonna go on. Part number 3. A1. Um, I forgot. I gotta tell you, I really like my little files. These little, this most of these files came from the Kirk collection. I gotta tell you, these small files are just great. These little diamond files are just absolutely fabulous. Years ago, when I was only doing sanding, I remember talking to Brian Denklo, Bro Builder, and he said, you should try like using like he uses files. I said, really, you use files even on some? He goes, yeah. For me, it's like it works better if you got the right ones. It's great. Not the most expensive ones, just got the right files. He goes, you should give it a try. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a try at some point. And I think like 6, 9 months later, I did give it a try. I'm like, you know, there's a valid point to it. You know, I really like having like a good file. And these are not great. These are cheap diamond files. These are just the right size. This is perfect. You literally cannot fuck this one all up. So funny. Let's see. I just sent 12 kits to myself from JP to Denmark. I've been holding back ordering from Japan because I heard shipping can be over 100. Oh yeah, shipping. Like for example, like I've ordered from online retailers there, and the shipping still makes the product less expensive sometimes than buying it here. But you are paying, let's say, like your ship. Generally speaking, 50%. Like if you got $100 order, it's going to be $50 to ship it. If you got $500 order, it's going to be about $250 to ship it. Just plan on it being something like that. My concern is not the shipping charge. My concern is the tariff that comes afterward, because I don't think that they factor that in. I love my Tamiya files, like so they're easy to remove and with them. If you are painting, you can't tell what you used. Yep. Again, finding the right tools, whatever works for you. Be the most heavily taxed nation on earth in cost average $15.65 per kit is shipping and taxes per kit. Oof. And is that cheaper than buying it in Denmark? The shipping from Japan, it depends on the site where you buy it. Well, last to check the shipping fee. Yeah, usually I bought from HLJ, I bought from Hobby Search, and I've got an order ready to go from Hobby Japan, Plaza Japan, excuse me. It's just right now, nothing there is necessary. Though some of the sanding sponges are actually pretty good. It just depends on how you have it shipped. My X-Acto knife also has a valid point. It sure does. It's a very valid point. Ow! For France back in the day, it wasn't that expensive, but you had to buy in small quantity to try and avoid the tax. Yep. Yeah, sadly, won't be ordering from Japan for a while. Ken, what are you very much cheaper? Yeah. Ken, what are you looking to order? And where are you ordering it from? Is it from one of the online hobby shops, or is it from some, like, I know you do a lot of software stuff. Is it just something that's more esoteric? Those pieces are on. Let's get this lower deck on. A2. Looking good, looking good. Since Sofubi comes from themselves, and they are mostly out of Japan. When I did my international shipment, import taxes are estimated during the customs paperwork. Interesting. AliExpress, I've not had a problem. I have not. I'm scared to order anything from any of the like I said, the Japanese retailers, just because it's like I don't want to be. Hey, here's what it's going to cost to have it. Here are all the duties and everything like that, and then you get hit with like an additional, couple $100 in tariff. Fuck that. My favorite artist is Blowfuss. You said blow. Nice. So you're actually buying from the like, I guess, a retailer for Sofubi, or from the artist directly. Soon to experience things. My hunting ammo went up like crazy, $4 a shot. Nick, what was the cost prior, and when and how quickly did that happen? And is ammunition made overseas? Blowless. Oh, did Peter get dinged? Oops. Remove, 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 remove. No, can't remove. Drop in. Blob pus. You're funny. Yeah, there's definitely going to be some cleanup that's required here. Getting everything. You're building a box is what you're basically building here. But let's see if you guys can see it. Look, I mean, take a look at all that detail underneath this thing. I mean, this thing is like sick. I've also seen places where you could potentially drill out, like, I believe, since this is a carrier, I believe all that stuff right there, you paint it black or you hollow it out. I would rather paint the interior black, hollow it out, and give it more depth. You got a lot of that going on in here. That's so cool. Yeah, I used to order a lot of stuff from the Mandarake stores. Yeah, but I've never ordered anything from Mandarake. Should check that out at some point. No, I had a typo. A little over $2 a shot. I use copper for hunting, so that's the biggest reason for the price jump. And is that because copper is copper imported?
Again, I don't know, but $2 to $4, 100% increase. And Nick, when did that happen? Like it was like you walk in one day, you buy a box, and it's $2 a shot, and then you come in the next time and it's $4. How long did that take? Time to start making your own. Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, Tony, you got a valid point there. At some point, you can. I mean, just I'm assuming it's something that's fairly doable. Can't believe I'm saying that, but wait, I recognize that shape. Is that a carrier from? Yes, exactly. Yeah, Seth. I'm building the Deusula the Third carrier. It's it's a it's a very nice little model. It's a very nice little model. I like this thing a lot. I do have in my collection, and I will start this probably in the next couple of years. I do have the 1/500 scale Yamato, which I got to tell you, I'm both dreading and excited to do that. That one will probably get LED work and a bunch of other stuff on it because that model is. I love the Yamato. The Yamato's always been like one of my. It's like one of the first things I remember watching as a kid. I was probably was it that came out in the U.S. in what 78? So I would have been what 13 at the time. And I remember when what was it? Star Blazers came out, and it's like, oh my god, this is great, and the ships and everything. Oh my god, the Yamato classic, or the Argo. God forbid we actually call it the Yamato. Making thousands of rounds, I don't save much, really. Shadas and vodka, caffeine, adrenaline, or buck. Yeah, what's by the way, Nick, what are you shooting? What's your gauge? Doo-doo-doo. I had a friend who made his own ammo. He would go out with his 65 rings and shoot on his range. Yep. Yeah, I thought I recognized that style, though I didn't watch the show. I have not seen 2205 yet. I have seen uh was it 2199, the first season, which I thought was really good. I'm a big fan of the original series as well, but I thought the new series is really good. It was a bit of it's almost an exact remake, so it's a little bit okay. I've seen the story before, but it's really well done. I started watching the second season and got about halfway through, and it was like something ain't right. It just for some reason wasn't hitting with me. I might try to watch it again at some point, but yeah, it didn't really strike me much. It was about 3 years ago. I didn't buy hunting ammo as often as range ammo, a box of 20. That's quite a few years versus the hundreds of rounds a year at the range. Yeah. Okay. Yutong Pan is in Japan at the GBWC today, by the way. Who is Yutong Pan? And I'm sorry, I don't know who that is. I don't follow GBWC. Repping the US. Wow, that he was at PatCon in 2020 in 24. Was he really? I legitimately don't know who that is. What did he bring to PatCon? Yeah, the range eats as fast as sure as early over. But the feel of satisfaction. Yeah, there is an interesting feel to that. One I try to not participate in unless necessary. And I haven't had need in the last 40 years, but times they are changing. Yeah, 308. Yep. Okay, I'll try to take a look and find somewhere to watch it. Yeah, it's pretty good. The first season was actually really good. If you like Yamato, the original series, the remake is quite good. Let's see. I enjoy Captain Harlock also, George. If we are talking about ships, again, it's all done by the same guy. It's all Leiji Matsumoto. So Galaxy Express, all of the ships from that, including the Emeraldus, which I love the shape of that ship. The Harlock ships, all of them, and the Yamato, they're all from the same theoretical universe. Absolutely. And I'm a huge fan of the Arcadia from My Youth in Arcadia, the Harlock movie. I love that film. It is such a sappy film, but it's a fun film. Yeah, the Gundam Stormbringer, the Zaku had Ramba Ral Diorama, and a few other kids. Cool.
And he's representing the U.S. at GBWC. Nice. 762 NATO. Yeah, oh yes, Nick. Does it? Does it now? Oh, does it now? Look at those. Ow. There we go. Far with that one. B12. Sorry, guys, give me a second here. I just want to get this. I see the 1, the 2, and there's the third one right there. Nope, there's the third one right there. All right. Let's see. The universe a lot too. Yeah. I've been watching, on occasion, I've watched the original Harlock, the one, they brought it over here as Captain Harlock and a Queen of 1,000 Years, which they basically took 2 series and blended them together. Bad. But you can actually find the original Harlock. I mean, you can find the original Harlock, which I have, and I watch it on the occasion. My hope is before I kick off, I'd like to watch a lot of that old anime again. I want to watch Gatchaman in its entirety, which is going to take some time because it's like 100 episodes. Finish the entire Harlock catalog. Get through the second season of the original Yamato. Catch the movies. I've watched a couple of the movies over the years, but it's been a long time. Galaxy Express, that's another one. You know, I love the whole concept of a space train. Just such a great idea. I really wish that Bandai would do something with like coming up with like a Galaxy Express set. I built a Galaxy Express train, a perspective train years ago, and I've got another one in the backlog. Right there. Yeah, that whole universe is awesome. Harlock does appear in Galaxy Express. Yes, it does. Doo-doo-doo. Woo, here we go. Yeah, so he didn't place top 3, which is a travesty to me because his build was incredible. Tyler got number 3, and I had that down for first. Yeah, here's the thing. Again, just going to caution anybody who says, yeah, it should have. We don't know what the judges were looking at. So I hate GBWC. I don't care for it. I think it's a Bandai thing, but that's fine. That's their game. But I'd also caution anybody who armchair quarterbacks on those things. You may not be seeing things as closely as the judges are, and therefore careful when you pass judgment like that. That's all I'm going to say. I especially like the green Arcadia. I think it was in the 1984 version. Yeah, the one with the big skull on the face of it. Yeah, that's the Arcadia. There's the original one, which had more of a like sort of like a pointed snout with an air or like an intake on it. I like that one too, but the one from my youth in Arcadia, that one is just by far like the best. All right, so Tony's bailing for me. Okay, Ron, I gotta go do this. All right, Tony, take it easy, brother. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the day, and good luck to your family, man. Let's just go through this. Sorry, so the paper targets are not that bad either. I watch a little bit Captain Harlock. I especially like the Green Arcadia. Yep, yes, Peter, it does. Thanks, Nick. And Tony's bailing later. I like the space. The spaces from older anime, they have a certain charm to them. Yeah, I'm the same way. Completely in agreement. You know, that's why I'm digging something like this, because the concept of a like a naval vessel in space, right, is stupid, but it does look really cool. Sorry, guys, I was trying to figure out. I think it's like that. Oops. Hooking on something. Yeah, there it goes. With another. Anyway, it's like that detailing that you just kind of snap in right there. It's pretty wild. It's actually pretty hollow too, which is kind of interesting. I also like the ships from the Tenchi Muyo franchise. Those, unfortunately, I don't really know much about. Never really watched Tenchi Muyo. I take it back. I never watched Tenchi Muyo. It's the thing I always do, I just toss stuff down. I forget where I toss it down at. What time is it? 7:30. Yeah. I'm gonna stay on for a few more minutes, and then we'll probably call it a session. Go see how my wife's doing, if she's awake yet. I got home so late that we didn't. I got here so late that we didn't get a chance to really see each other. So. Let's see. Anyway, yeah. So we got. I think we're just going to put on the ass end on number 2. Wow, there are 5 steps here, and each step has like a lot of little pieces. I'm on like step 2. I just finished part 1. Did I? Yes. And I got to do step 2, part 2, and then there's part 3. I'm going to do part 2. I think I'm going to call it a session. Okay. There's some good form. I also like the fact that some of them are organic and come from a seed. Oh, that's kind of cool. I do like the concept of some like organic ordnance, I guess, or organic ships. That is kind of cool. My older daughter and I are watching, God almighty, the detail in this thing is just incredible. Wow. I mean, that's just like off the chain impressive. My older daughter and I are watching Babylon 5, and one of the races, like one of the oldest races that they're dealing with, are a race called the Vorlon, and they have organic ships. And the ships in that are just like, they're really, really cool. Especially when one of them starts to form a weapon. It's like, oh, it's kind of nifty. Or if anybody ever read any of the, has anybody ever read, I'm sure some people have watched the Expanse TV series, which is really, really good. And the novels were like that much better. But the technology, particularly in the latter half of the series that we're starting to experience, it's like it's incredible. A lot of it being again organically based. There we go. Yeah, it's going to be some tightening up on here, but this is really coming out nicely. This might be just something again. If I can consistently get back to the paint booth, this would be a fun thing just to kind of get a couple of different layers of paint on here, you know, weather it a little bit and be done with it. It's cool. It's cool. They also have touched the subject organic ship in a Stargate, Atlantis, and Farscape. Yeah, Farscape was another. Yeah, Farscape was a big one. That I've seen. I've never watched. I never watched Stargate, but yeah, I forgot about that. Farscape was definitely like that. All right, my friends, I'm gonna call it a session. Get back to this tomorrow. I get to decide what kind of deck I have on here. At some point, do I have an aircraft carrier deck? Do I have a cannon deck, or do I have I guess, a turreted deck? I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Lex. Never watched Lex. No. I watched part of it and it's like, yeah, I'm not sure this is up for me. This is not for me. So, all right, my friends, with that, stay safe and stay sane. Go out there and do good. Do exactly what we do here. We show kindness, love, and respect. We're just do good. You know, something I saw last night just continues to just show that gut hatred we have for people. I mean, and it's gut, you know. I love the Expanse. It's just the first season was had. Stay on. I almost missed that series. Yeah, I missed it the first time it came out. I caught it at the very end after it had been transferred over to Amazon. But guys, go out there and do good, because it is absolutely vile, some of the stuff that's coming out there. I'm shocked at some of the stuff, and I don't get shocked very easily. It's like, well, this is part of the course. But there's some stuff that just came out last night that I think is just absolutely vile. There's no room for hatred, bigotry, racism. There's none of that. You know, especially for people like us who build models. Look, I don't care who you are, what you are. None of it matters. In the end, we're just people having fun with a hobby. Why should we hate each other for something that is inconsequential? And I mean inconsequential. So, guys, do good. Enjoy the day. Love you all. I'll be back on tomorrow morning working on this, and we'll go from there. Peace.